This is Just Amazon on Monday, March 16th, 2020. Take a look at the daily. We opened a little higher than I thought we would. And look at how we held this channel. Amazing. I was just talking yesterday, the video I did on Sunday for Friday. Yeah, no, that's confusing. The video I just did, the last video, I was talking about this channel. This is a great channel. You know, this channel was great, lining this up on this uptrend. We just held this level today. It looked like it came out of nowhere. If you don't have this channel on your chart, here's the values. Okay, 16.11 and 37 cents, 15.46, 47 cents on these dates, these times. I don't know why it's like that. That's not even the original one. I think I drew this one or this other one first. I don't know. This one maybe. I think I drew this one first when I'm like, oh, this really lines up nice. Anyway, we held this low really well. And then we ran all the way up to the 5. That's how far we went. A range of 133 points today. So diving into the 5-minute, we gapped down really large. Market opened up and we hit a limit down and we got stuck there for 15 minutes till the markets reopened. When they reopened, we made this, all right, I can't even see it. We made this high wave candle on the 5-minute and then shot up from there. And that was it. Like that was the low, was this high wave candle. It's even better on the 3-minute. The 3-minute, it's a high wave candle, but it's bearish. And so as soon as it goes above this high, you get in above and stop below, and that's it. And you're done for the day because that just kept on moving up. It broke through this level of 1665 and 27 cents and came back, retested into the 21, bounced, had another bounce into the 21, got through our 1714.50, got through our 1727.80, even got through 1747. This thing was running. But obviously, it's running a little too far, too fast, because that's what we just did the other day. And we were really retracing, all of this from Friday, opening up just way too far down and running way back up into all these levels. Chopped around in here for most of the day. Like this was the big move. I hope someone caught something from that. I missed it. I did not get anything set up fast enough here or any. I was too slow today. But it was just amazing to see that. When it was down here, and I should have been saying this on my last video, you just got to go out of the money a bit and just get into some options. Just do absolute zero. And you can almost do absolute zero from the open. Like you could have had this set up like 1,900 calls expiring this week. 1,950 calls would have probably been even better because they should have opened less than $1. I mean, the way that this moved today, you could have just set it up and just been like, okay, I'll just take whatever it gives me. Look at this. This went from a low down here of 20. Okay, maybe, set it up for $1, absolute zero. Buy at 1, get out at 2, get out at 3, get out at 4. It went all through with all that. Amazing. So I scalped a little bit of this one, way out of the money. Again, just playing the small risk. If we come back to something a little closer, maybe 1850. Let's see how low this got. See, these candles are just huge. This one's small. This one's less than $1, but these are huge. Like this is a $2 candle. So it's really tough to do with $100 risk. So I'm going further out of the money. This week's expiration, I know, a little crazy, right? This week's expiration. And what just happened? Sorry, I'm trying to look at just today. Okay, so back at the 1900 call, you had some smaller candles here. So the range on these were less than $1. It opened up with a low down here, 123. Actually, this was the 845 low because no options even traded for the first 15 minutes of the day. So starting at 845, we put a low down here. So you can get in there, just getting in as that move was happening. Or you wait for a retest. and it actually retested. Options usually retest, and you can usually wait about half an hour for that retest to happen. In this case, yeah, right on it, half an hour. And it came back down, and you easily could have set up 2x1. 2x1, you're in, and it just keeps on running. And this, you literally could have bought this at $2, flipped it out at the high at 4, held on for more. It, as it continued pushing up through the 1700 levels, it went all the way up into 10. Now, it would have been tough to hold up into 10, except, you'd need really a nice pivot to have it there. Oh, look, we had this one. And we had, the trapping wicks up here that I was talking about on Friday, and you had another trapping wick. There were still newbies buying up here, just like they were buying a little bit higher on Friday. It already moved over 100 points, and people are still buying up here. So, buy below one of these levels on its way up and sell into one of those levels on its way up. So let's say you sold right at 1020, 1025, somewhere in there as it's getting into that level. 1020, 1025. Okay. So you bought at 2 and you're getting out at 7. That's 5R in about an hour. I'm good with that. I would have been good with that. I should have set something up because you got a nice little spike down this one. So yeah, that would have been really nice. You even had some plays later in the day. They pull back a little bit to this little double bottom thing over here. This was between like 1 and 130. What was going on 1 to 130? Is that this? Oh, that was this little double bottom right here, where it looked like, oh, it's rolling over, it's going, nice hammer, inverted hammer here, it's going lower. Nope, it popped. And all day long, I think people were looking for this to roll over strong, and it really it didn't have a huge forceful rollover like the huge spike that we had Friday or the huge run up that we had earlier today. And I don't know if that means we've put in a bottom for now. I mean, I love that this level held. If and when this gets taken out, and I still think it will get taken out, I just think we've got to either settle down a little bit or bounce up a little bit. I mean, if we get up to 1800, people are going to be buying like crazy. And then it's a question of, okay, where are we at? Are we at one of these kind of recoveries, rallies, or are we in one of these over here where we've rallied and we're going to roll back down? I'm thinking we're at one of these levels in here. We're going to rally and we're going to roll back over, and this is going to trap a lot of people. I think we're doing something like this, where we're down in here, or maybe merge a couple of these candles, and we need to just rest. And it could be a rest near the top of this channel, could be arrested in the lower portion, anywhere in the lower channel that we're in now. This channel that we're in now. But I think we need to rest in here. If we get a pop, be very cautious. If you're in a position and it's profitable, take some profit. Get out of some of it if you get an opportunity to take some profit, because I think the rollover is going to be worse. I think it's going to roll down, and I think it's going to push below this level. Just with the momentum we've gone down and the possibility that we could keep going further, I would want to exit something for some profit. Take some profit, and then if you're going to hang on to some, buy some options, buy some put options when we're high for some things that are way out of the money down here, because if and when we get there, it'll be a great protection. So if you don't know how to do that, send me an email at justamazontrades@gmail.com, and I will email you back with what you can start to do to look for that kind of opportunity and what we can do to help you protect your positions. So diving back in here on the 5-minute, really nice rally, going bullish, some choppiness, pulling back, rolling back down a bit. There were some really nice hammers in here, inverted hammers, nice bearish candles that were looking like they were breaking down. High wave candle broke down. So there were some bearish trades today too. So this is, again, way out of the money, because you just have to go way out of the money. This is the 1450 put. So we're trading the 1700s. I went up to 1900, 1950 looking at that. I'm looking at the calls. I'm way further away at 1450, and they're way more expensive because everyone thinks, even the market makers have priced it in, that it's going lower. And so they're charging up. So 1450 puts, you could have been getting in like 5x4, 6x5, something like that. And this ran up. So I got into this 1450 at like 575, I think, with a stop down at 475, and it just ran up. And it was going so quick. I had my target at 775. I moved it up to 975, and I moved it up a little too far. I was going to go 875. I'm like, no, I think it'll get there. And then it didn't. And I missed the opportunity to exit at 875 because that would have been a nice 3R. And I held through some of this. I'm like, all right, I'm just taking an R because I don't want this to continue. Oops. I don't want this to continue to rally here like this did. You know, it looked like it was going to rally and popped up. And I actually got out like right down in here for just like an R. So that was still a good trade, you know, but I literally got out, and then the next thing you know, it spiked. And I looked back at the option and oops, got the wrong way. And I think the original setup would have been okay. But if I had moved my stop tighter to, you know, lock something in, I don't like getting stopped out of these because there's just no volume, that it's incredibly spready, and you can basically go from being up and get stopped out, and it can turn into an easy loss. So I hate letting the stop get me on these. I want to take profits. So I was watching that one and get out somewhere over here for an R. Now, had I left it all alone and not watched it all day long, I don't know that this, I mean, again, with the spreadiness, either of these lows could have taken me out if it got so spready that the 475 stop would have been hit, even though the price here is 543, because it was literally that spready. But it would have held, if I had held, it would have gone up to the 975 towards the end of the day. But I was good taking an R earlier. Wish I had taken, looking back, wish I had taken 2R or even 3R when I was given that opportunity. And I was looking for this to move back up a little bit higher, back into the zone that it had already been in. It just didn't do it. Again, this one's so far out of the money that I should have just been looking to take some profit in the direction when it was going in the direction. I just thought I had further to go. So I won't be trading something that far out of the money tomorrow or the rest of the week. You know, we're going to need to look for something like this, like 1500 or maybe the 1550 if things go bearish, but you need a bigger move. And, you know, you can see the range on these candles. A lot of them over in here where it's putting in some lows were more than a buck. And so picking the right option, actually this would have been a good one, buying at 8 over here, a nice little pop up to 10. So 1500 would have been a good one. Actually would have been better than the 1450 I used today. So I didn't spend a lot of time looking at it because when we were way up here, I'm like, okay, we got to get into something. And then seeing some small candles, it's like, all right, there's a really good opportunity coming in here. And I got in and missed the chance to get out down here. I thought it was going to go a little further, a little faster. And all of this, I mean, like I said, I still exited profitably, but I could have exited for 3R here, exited for 1R over here. So that's what happens when you hold on to options out of the money over the course of an hour and a half, an hour or so. I mean, it easily could have turned into a losing trade. So be very cautious when you're out of the money like that. You know, do some smaller ones. And learn from it. Learn with paper trading. Learn with real money. You know, small, but yeah, get used to how this stuff moves. And then into the end of the day, there was some rolling over. That's where we got these spikes on the puts. So there were still some opportunities to get into puts later in the day. You can get a retest right before the close, and then get a nice little breakdown. So the puts went higher just because of this here. So this was really nice. I think it was better again on the 3-minute. Yeah, nice little hammer breakdown, bearish engulfing candle. Yeah, a little better on the 3-minute than the 5-minute. A lot of times I'm down on the 1 minute. So you just got to be quicker with your broker. And, just watching some of this, like, look at this, just totally range bound in here in between our pivots, like just wicking right up into our pivots, holding this kind of resistance, and then rolls over. This is the kind of stuff that, getting set up with down in the 1 minute, you just see this hold all through here. It's like, okay, it's going to go down at some point, and it does. So catching these, this is what I'm working on getting better at on a 1 minute, and then looking out for these kind of spikes. So I was in, where was it? It was over here. So I was in over here somewhere. That was 3R. I was looking to get out because I'm like, this is a lot of 1 minute bearish candles in a row. And all of a sudden it moved up. I'm like, okay, I think it'll roll over, come back down. And then it didn't. And I was hovering around half an hour up, an hour up through all this. And then just the time got away from me. And I got out right over, I think I got out like right here or in here somewhere, because next I was out. What was it? Oh yeah, I was right at, oh, that's 1:30. I thought it was 12:30. No, it was one something. It was something over here. I got out, then all of a sudden it just started to shoot up. So I think it was somewhere right in here. I'd have to look at the timestamp when it happened. But anyway, that kind of move, you don't want to be in bearish when one of those comes in. But what's remarkable is this moved with bigger bullish candles and further than this moved with small bearish candles. So just interesting to see how things are a little out of balance right now. You'd expect more bears to be coming in on this kind of day where we gap down so far, letting the bulls run it back up, rolling back down. So this was, still just a really choppy day. There's a lot of choppy days, but just seeing how things moved around today, you can see it on the 1 minute where you can see the give and the take between the bulls and the bears. And so when you start to see some of these levels hold, like seeing, okay, here's some wicks, here's some upper wicks, where you can connect those and be like, okay, we should sell off from some of these, and we do. And then we recover and we keep pushing back up. But even here, so looking at earlier in the day here, I'm just seeing this right now in the 1 minute. I wasn't watching all this, but if I just kind of connect these, I'm just looking at this section to connect these. Like, does that give you any value later in the day? Yeah, look, we pulled all the way back to this, looked like we were going to bounce, didn't. Once we broke down past that, back below it, it's acting as resistance that we popped up to here, and then rolled over. So even just drawing these trend lines on a smaller time frame, so it just moves a lot faster. So anyway, I did a little on the 1 minute on Friday's video, the video I just did yesterday. So here's a little bit more, but I think we've got some resting in here. Be careful that you're not getting sucked into something that's looking great. Take some profits as they come available. Look for those, nice solid entries, where you've got your pivots defined, and get in on retest. Watch for them to come back in half an hour later. Like these values where it comes back into that same price. So like I was getting in, I think over here, and about half an hour later, there were some opportunities, pretty close to the entry price I got in over here. So the options, because there's so much volatility, there's usually some retests. So look for those opportunities. Look for the way that it moves on the 5 minute, on the 3 minute. And I'm here to help. Hope this helps. This is Just Amazon. Thanks.